Ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you something powerful right off the bat. The biggest battle you'll ever face in life isn't against the world. It's not against other people, your circumstances, or even the challenges that life throws at you. The biggest fight you'll ever have is you versus you. That's right, every single day, the person standing in your way is the one staring back at you in the mirror. Too many people waste their time looking around, pointing fingers, making excuses. It's my boss, it's the economy, it's the way I was raised. People just don't give me a fair shot. Let me tell you something, all those things, yeah, they might play a part. But in the grand scheme of things, they're just background noise. The real battle, the one that matters, is the one that happens inside of you. Every day you wake up and face the same competitor yourself. That voice inside your head that tells you to take it easy, to stay in your comfort zone, to not take that risk because it might not work out. That voice is trying to keep you small. That voice, that's the enemy. Now the question is, how do you defeat that voice? How do you beat yourself? It starts with understanding that the fight isn't about anyone else, it's about outgrowing your old self, stepping up to your full potential, and taking control of your life. Today, I'm going to give you the blueprint, the keys to winning this battle against yourself. Let's break it down with 7 key points, 7 rules to live by if you want to be victorious in the fight of you vs you. Stop feeding the fear. Fear is the first thing we need to talk about because it's the foundation of so many of your problems. Fear keeps you stuck. Fear makes you second guess yourself. Fear convinces you to play it safe, to not take risks, to avoid failure at all costs. And guess what? Fear is nothing but a liar. Fear only has the power you give it. It's like a hungry beast. If you keep feeding it, it grows bigger and stronger. But if you stop feeding it, it starves, it shrinks, and it eventually dies. So how do you stop feeding your fear? By taking action. The moment you move forward, even if it's just a small step, you weaken that fear. You prove to yourself that the monster in your head isn't real. Start taking steps in the direction of your goals, even if you're scared, even if you're uncertain. The key is to move through the fear, not around it. The more you act in spite of it, the weaker it becomes. It's you versus your fear. And the only way to win is to starve it by taking bold action. Outwork the old you. Now let's talk about effort. You can't beat the old version of yourself by doing the same things you've always done. Yesterday's effort won't cut it today. The person you used to be, that version of you was okay with mediocrity, with comfort, with coasting along. But the new you, the version of you that's going to win, that version has to outwork the old one. Think about it. How do you beat an opponent who's as familiar with you as you are with them? You've got to be smarter, faster, more determined, more relentless. That old version of you that liked to hit the snooze button, that settled for good enough, that made excuses for why things weren't happening, that version can't survive in this new chapter of your life. You've got to outwork that old you. You've got to hustle harder, push longer, grind more. That doesn't mean you burn yourself out. It means you stay focused, stay hungry, and refuse to settle. The old you got you to where you are today, but it's not going to get you to where you want to go. Outwork your old self every single day. Master your mindset. The battle of you versus you is won or lost in your mind. That's where it all starts. You could be the most talented, most driven person in the world. But if your mindset isn't right, you'll sabotage yourself before you even get started. The thoughts you entertain, the beliefs you carry, the stories you tell yourself, those things shape your reality. Let me tell you something, the person who wins in life isn't always the smartest, the strongest, or the most talented. It's the person who believes they can. The person who has trained their mind to see opportunities where others see obstacles, to see lessons where others see failure, and to see potential where others see limits. You've got to master your mindset. That means kicking negative thoughts to the curb. When doubt creeps in, you've got to shut it down. When fear tries to take over, you've got to fight back with faith and belief in yourself. Your mind is a powerful tool, but it can be your greatest enemy if you don't control it. Get your mind right, and the rest will follow. Discipline over motivation. Motivation is overrated. Yeah, I said it. Look, motivation feels good in the moment. It's like that rush of excitement you get when you watch an inspiring video or hear a powerful speech. But here's the thing, motivation fades. It's like a sugar high. It gets you pumped up for a while, but it doesn't last. What lasts is discipline. Discipline is what gets you out of bed when you don't feel like it. Discipline is what makes you show up day after day, even when the excitement is gone. Discipline is what separates the successful from the unsuccessful. Because successful people don't rely on motivation, they rely on habits, routines, and discipline. When it's you versus you, discipline is your secret weapon. It's the thing that keeps you going when motivation runs dry. It's the thing that makes you keep pushing forward, even when the path gets tough. You won't always feel like doing the work, but if you have discipline, you'll do it anyway. And that's where the magic happens. Own your choices. You are where you are today because of the choices you've made. And let me tell you something, owning that fact is one of the most empowering things you can do. Stop blaming your circumstances. Stop blaming other people. Stop looking for excuses. The moment you own your choices, you take back control of your life. Life is all about choices. Every day you're faced with decisions, big ones and small ones, that shape your future. And the choices you make today will determine where you are tomorrow. So if you're not where you want to be, look in the mirror. The only person responsible is you. Now, this isn't about beating yourself up. It's about taking ownership. It's about recognizing that you have the power to make different choices starting right now. You can't control everything that happens to you, but you can control how you respond. You can control the choices you make moving forward. So own your choices and make them count. Consistency is king. Consistency is the name of the game. You don't win in a day. You don't build success overnight. It's about showing up every single day, doing the work, and staying the course. One brick at a time, one step at a time, one day at a time. That's how you build greatness. The problem is most people give up too soon. They put in the effort for a few days, maybe even a few weeks, and then when they don't see immediate results, they quit. But here's the thing, success isn't about bursts of effort. It's about steady, consistent progress over time. If you want to beat the old you, you've got to stay consistent. You've got to show up, even on the days when you don't feel like it, even when it seems like nothing is happening, because success is about accumulation. Every day that you put in the work, you're moving closer to your goals. Stay consistent, and over time, you'll start to see the results you're after. Celebrate the small wins. Too often, we're so focused on the big picture, on the end goal, that we forget to celebrate the small wins along the way. But here's the thing, progress is progress, no matter how small. Every step you take in the right direction is a victory. And if you want to keep yourself motivated and moving forward, you've got to learn to celebrate those wins. It's not about settling for less or lowering your standards. It's about recognizing that success is a journey, not a destination. You don't arrive at greatness in one giant leap. You get there by taking small, consistent steps forward. So when you hit a milestone, when you accomplish something, no matter how small, celebrate it. Give yourself credit for the progress you've made. When you celebrate the small wins, you fuel yourself to keep going. You remind yourself that you're on the right path, that you're moving closer to your goals. And that's what keeps you in the game, keeps you pushing, keeps you fighting in the battle of you versus you. At the end of the day, it's always been you versus you. The only person that can stop you from achieving greatness is the one you see in the mirror. But the good news is, once you conquer yourself, everything else becomes easier. The world isn't your